Tomsk is a city and the administrative center of Tomsk Oblast, Russia, located on the Tom River. One of the oldest towns in Siberia, Tomsk celebrated its 400th anniversary in 2004. Population, 524,669 euro, 2010 census. 487,838 euro, 2002 census. 501,963 euro, 1989 census. History. Tomsk originated with a decree from Tsar Boris Godun in 1604 after Toyin, the Tatar Duke of Uskta, asked for the Tsar's protection against Kyrgyz bandits. The Tsar sent 200 Cossacks under the command of Vasily Fomichtikov and Gavril Ivanovich Pizemsky to construct a fortress on the bank of the Tom River, overlooking what would become the city of Tomsk. Toyin ceded the land for the fortress to the Tsar. In 1804 the Imperial Russian government selected Tomsk as the seat of the new Tomsk Governorate, which would include the modern cities of Novosibirsk, Kemerovo, and Krasnoyarsk, as well as the territories now in eastern Kazakhstan. The new status brought development and the city grew quickly. The discovery of gold in 1830 brought further development to Tomsk in the 19th century. However, when in the 1890s the Trans-Siberian Railway bypassed the city in favor of the village of Novonikolayevsk, development began to move south to connect with the railway. In time, Novosibirsk would surpass Tomsk in importance. In the mid-19th century 1/5 of the city's residents were exiles. However, within a few years, the city would be reinvented as the educational center of Siberia with the establishment of Tomsk State University and Tomsk Polytechnic University. By World War II, every 12th resident of the city was a student, giving rise to the city's informal name, the Siberian Athens. After the October Revolution of 1917 the city became a notable center of the White Movement, led by Anatoly Pipalath and Maria Bokova, among others. After the victory of the Red Army in the 1920s, Soviet authorities incorporated Tomsk into the West Siberian Krai and later into Novosibirsk Oblast. Like many Siberian cities, Tomsk became the new home for many factories relocated out of the war zone from 1941. The resulting growth of the city led the Soviet government to establish the new Tomsk Oblast, with Tomsk serving as the administrative center. During the Cold War Tomsk became one of many designated closed cities, which outsiders and, in particular, foreigners, could not visit. In 1949 matters went a stage further with the establishment of a secret city, known as Tomsk 715 kilometers northwest of Tomsk. The new settlement became the home of the Tomsk nuclear plant, the Soviet Union's first industrial-scale nuclear power station. Tomsk 7 received municipal status in 1956 and was renamed Sevovsk in 1992. Administrative and municipal status, Tomsk serves as the administrative center of the oblast and, within the framework of administrative divisions, it also serves as the administrative center of Tomsky district, even though it is not a part of it. As an administrative division, it is, together with 7 rural localities, incorporated separately as Tomsk City under Oblast jurisdiction, an administrative unit with the status equal to that of the districts. As a municipal division, Tomsk City under Oblast jurisdiction is incorporated as Tomsk Urban Okrug. City divisions Tomsk is divided into 4 city districts, Kirovsky, Leninsky, Oktyabrsky, and Sovetsky. Climate: Tomsk has a humid continental climate barely escaping a subarctic classification. The annual average temperature is plus 0.87 degrees Celsius. Winters are severe and lengthy, and the lowest recorded temperature was a 55 degrees Celsius in January 1931. However, the average temperature in January is between a 21 degrees Celsius and a 13 degrees Celsius. The average temperature in July is plus 18.7 degrees Celsius. The total annual rainfall is 568 millimeters. In 2006, Tomsk experienced what might have been its first recorded winds of hurricane force, which toppled trees and damaged houses. Politics: Tomsk is governed by a mayor and a 33-member Duma. The current mayor, appointed in 2013, is Ivan Klein, a member of the United Russia Party. Of the 33 members, 16 are elected from the 8 double-mandate districts while 17 are chosen from party lists. In the October 2005 local elections, United Russia was expected to cruise to a solid victory. However, the Pensioners' Party put up a strong showing. The final count was 19.42% Euro 5 seats Euro Pensioners' Party, 17.85% Euro 5 seats Euro United Russia, 9.95% Euro 3 seats Euro Communist Party, 8.57% Euro 2 seats Euro Union of Rightist Forces Yabloko Coalition, 7.77% Euro 2 seats Euro Liberal Democratic Party of Russia, 14.67% Euro against all candidates, double mandates, 10 seats Euro no party affiliation, 4 seats Euro United Russia, 1 seat Euro Pensioners' Party, 1 seat Euro Liberal Democratic Party of Russia. Economy = energy generation = Tomsk has the oldest electrical grid in Siberia. There are 3 power stations in the city, TEC-1, GRES-2, TEC-3. Tomsk consumes more electric energy than it produces. The bulk of the city's electric and thermal energy is produced by the GRES-2 and TEC-3 power plants, belonging to Tomsknergo Incorporated. Tomsk supplements its energy needs with electricity generated at Seversk. Transportation Road network, northern branch of the M53 Federal Road. Road R398 to Kolpashevo. Road R400 to Mariinsk. Northern Latitude Highway Perma-Suguta Tomsk. There is a commercial and passenger port on the Tom River. The city is served by the Bogashevo Airport. Railways, Tomsk is a small railway center that is situated on the Tagore-Belyar line of the Trans-Siberian Railway, the main line of the Trans-Siberian Railway, built in 1896, passes 50 kilometers south of Tomsk and bypasses Tomsk. Access from Tomsk to the Trans-Siberian Railway is available via the town of Tagore. A regional rail line links Tomsk with Tagore. The Tomsk Railway existed as an independent entity until 1961. At the present time, the Tomsk line belongs to the West Siberian Railway, branch of Russian Railways Corporation. Trains link Tomsk to Anapa, Asino, Barnaul, Belia, Moscow, Novosibirsk, Novosibirsk, Sochi, and Tagore. Public transportation, the main part of inner-city and suburban transportation is provided by marshrutkas, mainly PAZ, minibuses, which serve about 40 routes. Additionally, the city has 11 proper bus routes, 8 trolleybus lines, and 5 tram lines. Private taxis are also readily available. Air transportation, Tomsk Bogashevo Airport is served by the following airlines. The airport is also served by charter flights operated by UTair and Al-Rozumli Air Enterprise. Education. Tomsk has a number of prominent institutions of higher education, including Tomsk Polytechnic University, founded in 1896 and opened in 1900, is the oldest technical university in Siberia. Tomsk State University is the oldest university in Siberia. The archives of the Tomsk State University Library are ranked among the most extensive in Russia. Siberian State Medical University, one of the oldest and highest-rated medical schools in Russia. Tomsk State Pedagogical University, Tomsk State University of Architecture and Construction, Tomsk State University of Control Systems and Radio Electronics, Tomsk Economics and Law University, Tomsk Institute of Business, Institute of Petroleum Geology and Geophysics Siberian branch of RAS, Institute of Petroleum Chemistry Siberian branch of RAS, Institute for Monitoring Climatic and Ecological Systems Siberian branch of RAS, Republican Scientific Technical Center at ISPMS-SBRAS, Institute of Atmospheric Optics Siberian branch of RAS, High Current Electronics Institute Siberian branch of RAS, Institute of Strength Physics and Materials Science SBRAS, Tomsk Institute of Cables, a large number of educational institutions in the city have contributed to making Tomsk a major center for Russia's IT industry. Tomsk was one of the first cities in Russia to gain access to the Internet, which became available in the early 1990s owing to grants received by universities and scientific cooperation. Culture. Tomsk has many local cultural institutions including several drama theaters as well as a children's theater and a puppet theater. Major concert venues in the city include the Conservatory Concert Hall and the Tomsk Palace of Sport. The city also boasts cultural centers dedicated to German, Polish and Tatar languages and culture. One of the city's prominent theaters was destroyed in an act of terrorism in 1905. The Korolev Ski Theatre was being used by a group of communist revolutionaries when the theatre was attacked and set on fire by members of the Black Hundred, a hardline nationalist organization. Those who escaped the flames were gunned down by Black Hundred members waiting outside the theatre. Estimates put the number of casualties between 200 and 1,000. There are a number of museums in Tomsk devoted to various subjects, most notably art, local history and wood carving. There is also a museum of oppression, housed in a former KGB dungeon. Tomsk State University has a number of small museums with exhibits on archaeology, paleontology, zoology, as well as a herbarium and a botanical garden. As in many other cities in the former Soviet Union, the revolutionary government destroyed a number of old churches in the city including two that had existed since the 17th century. However, Tomsk managed to save some of its churches by transforming them into machine shops, warehouses, archives, and even residential buildings. Since the end of the communist era, some of the churches have been renovated and returned to their congregations. Tomsk is well known for its intricate gingerbread decoration of traditional wooden houses in the area. However, the number of old homes in this style is decreasing due to redevelopment or some of them catching fire, as the structures have little to no fire protection. Trod Stadium, in central Tomsk is the base for matches with the FC Tomsk, the city's professional football club. The team's 2004 promotion to the Russian Premier League gave local fans a chance to see some of the nation's best teams play at the city's own stadium. Tomsk has many local media outlets including the TV2 television station, shut down by the authorities and turned into an internet TV medium, the radio stations Radio Siberia and Echo of the Moscow and Tomsk along with several newspapers. In April 2006, Tomsk received international media attention as the venue of a major summit on economic cooperation, held in the city between Russian President Vladimir Putin and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Tomsk was the name given by children's author Elizabeth Beresford to one of her fictional characters the Wombles, all of whom are named after places. Notable people. International relations. Tomsk is the only non-capital member of the Asian network of major cities 21. Twin towns and sister cities Tomsk is twinned with Monroe, Michigan, United States, Toledo, Ohio, United States, Tbilisi, Georgia, Novorossiysk, Russia, Smolensk, Russia, Ulsan, South Korea. See also, Akademgorodok in Tomsk. References. Notes Sources THTH 3/4 NN florin THTH degree N euro NN TH squared TH micron TH 1/2 TH 1/2 TH degree N TH N florin TH 1/4 TH degree TH 3/4 TH 1/4 N TH TH 3/4 TH to the first TH 3/4 TH plus or minus TH TH degree NN TH 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 degree TH TH 3/4 TH 1/2 a minus 271 TH 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 3/4 N 22 TH TH micron TH TH degree TH plus or minus N euro N 2009 TH cubed a TH plus or minus TH degree TH TH 1/4 TH TH 1/2 TH NN on euro TH degree N TH TH squared TH 1/2 TH 3/4 N TH micron N euro TH N TH 3/4 N euro TH TH degree TH noeth 1/2 TH 3/4 TH 1/4 N florin NN on euro TH 3/4 TH to the first NN TH squared TH micron TH 3/4 TH 1/4 N TH TH 3/4 TH to the first TH 3/4 TH plus or minus TH TH degree NN TH A th squared n euro th micron th degree th 3 quarters th 1 half th degree a minus 153 th 3 quarters n 17 th 1 half th 3 quarters n th plus or minus n euro n 2014 th cubed. A th plus or minus n florin th n euro th degree th 1 half th micron th 1 half th 3 quarters n th micron th knoweth 1 half n on th degree th 1 quarter th 1 half th n n on euro th degree n th squared th 1 half th 3 quarters n th micron n euro th n th 3 quarters n euro th degree th knoweth 1 half n on th micron th 1 half th n th 3 quarters th 1 quarter n th 3 quarters th to the first th 3 quarters th plus or minus th degree n n th 3 quarters th squared th 1 half th micron n th micron th 1 half th 1 quarter th micron th 1 half th micron th 1 half th to the first th squared th 3 quarters n th micron th knoweth 1 half n th micron th degree th 3 quarters th 1 half th 3 quarters th degree n th micron th knoweth 1 half n th micron th degree th n on th 3 quarters th 1 quarter n th 3 quarters th to the first th 3 quarters th plus or minus th degree n n th squared n squared n th n n florin th n euro th degree th 1 half th micron th 1 half th micron th 1 quarter th 3 quarters n th micron th knoweth 1 half n on th degree th 1 quarter th 1 half th n n on euro th degree n th squared th 1 half th 3 quarters n th micron n euro th n th 3 quarters n euro th degree th knoweth 1 half n on th micron th 1 half th n th 3 quarters th 1 quarter n th 3 quarters th to the first th 3 quarters th plus or minus th degree n n th a th on n on florin th squared n th n florin th 3 quarters th n n th micron th 1 half th 10 th 1 half th micron th to the first th 3 quarters n th micron th 1 half n th 3 quarters n th degree th knoweth 1 half th 3 quarters th cubed th 3 quarters th 3 quarters th n florin th plus or minus th 3 quarters th squared th degree th 1 half th n florin th plus or minus th 3 quarters th squared th degree th 1 half th 3 quarters th 1 quarter n micron th 1 half th 3 quarters th squared th 3 quarters n n th a minus 51, 24 th micron th degree th plus or minus n euro n 2009 th cubed th 3 quarters n n florin th degree n euro n n th squared th micron th 1 half th degree n th n florin th 1 quarter th degree th 3 quarters th 1 quarter n th 3 quarters th to the first th 3 quarters th plus or minus th degree n n th degree th 3 quarters th 1 half a minus 238 th 3 quarters n 12 th 1 half th 3 quarters n th plus or minus n euro n 2004 th cubed A th 1/2 th degree th micron th micron th 1/2 th 1/4 n florin th 1/2 th n th degree th noeth 1/2 th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 th 3/4 th plus or minus n euro th degree th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th n th 3/4 n euro th 3/4 th 3/4 th 1/4 n th n n th degree n on florin n th 3/4 th 1/4 th cubed th 3/4 n euro th 3/4 th n th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 th 3/4 th n euro n florin th cubed th degree th squared n euro th micron th degree th 3/4 th 1/2 th degree n minus 76 th 3/4 n 19 th n th 1/2 n 2014 th cubed. A th squared th 1/2 th micron n th micron th 1/2 th 1/4 th micron th 1/2 th micron th 1/2 th to the first th squared th 3/4 n th micron th noeth 1/2 n th micron th degree th 3/4 th 1/2 th 3/4 th degree n th micron th noeth 1/2 n th micron th degree th n on th 3/4 th 1/4 n th 3/4 th to the first th 3/4 th plus or minus th degree n n th squared n th degree n n th n florin n th 3/4 n th 1/2 th micron th 1/2 th n n n th degree n on florin n th degree th 1/2 th degree n th micron th n th 1/2 th 1/2 n on th n florin th 1/2 th n th 3/4 th squared n th 3/4 th n n per mil th n th squared n th 3/4 n n th degree th squared th cubed th 3/4 n euro th 3/4 th n th n nth micron th no nth th nth th 3/4 nth micron th micron th 1/2 th to the first th on n on florin th squared nth n florin th 3/4 th n nth micron th 1/2 th 20 th 1/2 th micron th to the first nth 3/4 th 1/2 nth 3/4 nth degree th noeth 1/2 th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 th 3/4 th n florin th plus or minus th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th n florin th plus or minus th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th sh n euro th degree n th 1/2 th 3/4 th micron th 1/2 th degree th 1/4 n a minus 154 16 th 1/2 th 3/4 nth plus or minus n euro n 2004 th cubed th 3/4 nn florin th degree n euro n nth squared th micron th 1/2 th degree n th n florin th 1/4 th degree th 3/4 th 1/4 nth 3/4 th to the first th 3/4 th plus or minus th degree n nth degree th 3/4 th 1/2 a minus 241 th 3/4 n 12 th 1/2 th 3/4 nth plus or minus n euro n 2004 th cubed. A th 1/2 th degree th micron th micron th 1/2 th n nth degree n on florin nth 3/4 th 1/4 th 1/4 n florin th 1/2 th nth degree th noeth 1/2 th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 n euro th degree th to the first th 3/4 th 1/2 th degree nth micron th no nth th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 th 3/4 nth micron th micron th 1/2 thn thn florin nth degree th 1/2 th 3/4 th squared th micron th 1/2 th cubed n euro th degree th 1/2 th n th 1/4 n florin th 1/2 th n th degree th noeth 1/2 n on th 3/4 th plus or minus n euro th degree th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th to the first th 1/2 th degree nth micron n euro th n th 3/4 n euro th 3/4 th 1/4 nth th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 n euro th degree th to the first th 3/4 th 1/2 th degree th squared n euro th micron th degree th 3/4 th 1/2 th degree minus 76 th 3/4 n 19 th n th 1/2 n 2014 th cubed a th squared th 1/2 th micron nth micron th 1/2 th 1/4 th micron th 1/2 th micron th 1/2 th to the first th squared th 3/4 nth micron th noeth 1/2 nth micron th degree th 3/4 th 1/2 th 3/4 th degree nth micron th noeth 1/2 nth micron th degree thn on th 3/4 th 1/4 nth th 3/4 th to the first th 3/4 th plus or minus th degree n nth th squared nth degree n nth n florin nth 3/4 nth 1/2 th micron th 1/2 th n nth degree n on florin nth degree th 1/2 th degree nth micron th nth 1/2 th 1/2 n on th n florin th 1/2 th nth 3/4 th squared nth 3/4 th n permel th nth squared nth 3/4 n nth degree th squared th cubed th 3/4 n euro th 3/4 th nth thn nth micron th no nth th nth th 3/4 nth micron th micron th 1/2 th to the first th n on florin th squared nth th n florin th 3/4 th n nth micron th 1/2 th 20 th 1/2 th micron th to the first nth 3/4 th 1/2 nth 3/4 nth degree th noeth 1/2 th 3/4 th cubed th 3/4 th 3/4 th n florin th plus or minus th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th nth n florin th plus or minus th 3/4 th squared th degree th 1/2 th 3/4 th 1/4 nth micron th squared th micron th 3/4 th 1/4 th 3/4 nth a minus 47, 18 th 1/2 th 3/4 nth plus or minus n euro n 2004 th cubed. External links: Tomsk, Cultural Treasure in the Taiga, pictures for the 400th anniversary of Tomsk, the pictures of Tomsk on flickr.com, Tomsk live webcams, pictures of Tomsk,